Training camp has started and football is right around the corner, so you know exactly what that means. Prediction season is here. So with that being the case, Ryan Clark, one of the most prominent voices in regards to the NFL on ESPN, has taken a very less than shocking stance on my Carolina Panthers. He believes that we could in fact be the best defense in the NFC South in this upcoming 2023 season, with the contingency of a few things involving a challenge to star young cornerback Jaycee Horn. So in this video, we're going to react to exactly what Ryan Clark had to say, and we're going to get into all of that right after this.
From the foe, you dig?
Welcome to The Way I See It with Jamario Rashad. This is a Carolina Panthers fan channel. Please do me a favor by hitting the like button, and please make sure you subscribe, as I am on my road to 2K. Trying to make sure my channel is popping before these games get started very, very soon. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get to what RC had to say. So Ryan Clark was on NFL Live with Mina Kimes about 2 days ago, and they were discussing the Carolina Panthers, and he had something very, very interesting to say in regards to the potential of our young star-laden defense, but more specifically, our two guys on the boundary. So I'm going to let you all hear what Ryan Clark had to say, and then I'm going to come back, react, and give you my thoughts on that. So let's go ahead and hear what Ryan Clark had to say.
Everything that Mina says is absolutely dead on, which it is most times. But when you look at Jaycee Horn, I think people are starting to forget he was drafted before Patrick Surtain II. They're both coming off of season-ending injuries in which Jaycee Horn has suffered his first 2 years in the league. He's also missed time this offseason. Donte Jackson coming off of an Achilles. If those two men are healthy and 100%, this could be the best defense in the NFC South. And if they are, and then Bryce Young continues to come along on the offensive side of the ball, especially with this coaching staff that's assembled around him, this team could win the NFC South and be one of those teams that drafted first overall because they were able to move up and found themselves in the playoffs. But it's going to depend on those two guys on the outside being healthy, but also being themselves.
Okay, so those were Ryan Clark's thoughts on the Jaycee Horn situation, as well as the current status of the Carolina Panthers defense. And I have a few thoughts. First, I have to acknowledge that I don't think Ryan Clark is very closely in tune with what has been going on with Carolina Panthers Nation very much at all, with him presenting the question or the statement that I believe that a lot of people have forgotten that he was drafted over Pat Surtain. It's not that. It's just that hasn't mattered very much on our side over here. Majority of the conversation has been divisive bickering back and forth over the fact that we passed on Justin Fields, a much needed quarterback in that spot 2 years ago prior to our current position where we are looking a lot better. A lot of people are just simply never going to get over the fact that we elected to draft a cornerback when we were in need of a quarterback. So that is what most of the infighting has been about. So if there is any valid reason why people are forgetting that Jaycee was selected over Pat Surtain, it's because nobody really gives a damn. It's mostly people upset that he was drafted over Justin Fields, which they also need to get over that shit as well. But also, I believe that him mentioning Donte Jackson is very interesting to me. I believe that LSU connection, them both being New Orleans guys, having a lot of history together, maybe clouding his judgment just a tad bit. I am one of those people that do not believe that Donte Jackson is necessarily as bad as a lot of people within Carolina Panthers Nation would like you to believe that he is. A lot of people are just salty that we elected to pay him rather than Stephon Gilmore, which is understandable. Well, he and Ian Thomas, a tight end, rather than keeping one of the greatest tight ends of all, one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time. That's understandable why people are upset. But people try to talk about Donte as if he's C.J. Henderson or Keith Taylor. He's just not that ass. Like, there's no way you can spin it to make it seem as though Donte is just as ass as Keith Taylor and C.J. Henderson. That's just simply not the truth. But one thing that I do want to point out is I have to disagree with Ryan Clark, when it comes to him stating that if both of these guys come back, then that is what will make us the best defense in the NFC South. I fundamentally disagree with that because I do not believe that cornerback is the position that this defense is so vastly lacking at. It is so clear to me that I can look in recent memory and give you just fact after fact as to why cornerback is not as essential as pass rusher, which is what we most desperately need. Why pass rusher is more important to this team. In 2021, by the end of the season, the Carolina Panthers were ranked second in total defense for the year in the entire NFL. During that season, Jaycee Horn was a rookie who only played in 3 games. Dante Jackson, hurt as usual, only played in 12. Stephon Gilmore was brought in. He only played in 8. AJ Bouye played in about, like, there was just a constant carousel of cornerbacks coming in and out, but somehow, some way, this defense was able to be absolutely dominant. How was that the case? That was because we had the emergence of potential defensive player of the year candidate last year in Hassan Reddick, having his breakout season with the Carolina Panthers alongside Brian Burns. Those two guys, rushing quarterbacks opposite of each other, meeting in the middle, getting constant pressure, constant sacks, constant QB hits, were the reason why we were able to mask the fact that we did not have elite cornerback play on the boundary. So I do not think that it is going to take the combination of two guys being completely dominant for this team to reach its heights. I need for both of those guys to be serviceable, as good as they could possibly be, but I need for the higher ups to go out there and bring in a pass rusher, which will allow us to more easily become the best defense in the NFC South, because I don't believe having 2 lockdown corners is something that directly correlates to just immediate success. I can't even think, like, who was the last tandem of corners that people would consider lockdown that actually won a Super Bowl? Would you have to go back to maybe Talib and Harris? Like that's like 5-6 years ago. Like, that's a long time ago. It does not require lockdown corners to win a Super Bowl. It's more so a team more so needs an effective pass rush, and so I have to disagree with Ryan Clark there. So the last thing that I want to talk about is he talked about the potential of this coaching staff, everybody that we brought in, who all could help Bryce Young. But I do want to focus in on the potential that Ejiro Evero has to come in, be a force multiplier, and make the guys that we have now better than what they have been previously, simply due to his coaching style as well as the 3-4 scheme that he is bringing in. Now, Pat Surtain, another guy that Ryan Clark mentioned earlier in this video, had his best year ever under Ejiro Evero last year for the Denver Broncos, but opposite of Pat Surtain was a 4th-year rookie that showed so much promise that is crazy. I can't honestly remember his name because I don't care. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. But I do know that bro was cold whenever I actually watched their games. I watched highlights. And most of that is due to Ejiro Evero putting him in positions where he can be prosperous with limited experience, but just a great deal of physical ability. If he is able to come in and provide that more so for Dante Jackson than Jaycee, who I believe is in his own right just a great player, I believe we can get the best Dante Jackson we've ever seen, despite injury, despite any other thing that you can roll out. I think that Ejiro Evero will be that lightning rod that will make Dante Jackson better, but I don't think that will be of their own volition, because I think that we have seen peak Dante Jackson under his own power. But if coaching can get him over the edge, I believe that Ejiro Evero will 1000% definitely be the coach that would be able to do that for him, man. But those are my thoughts on what Ryan Clark had to say about the Carolina Panthers, the challenge that he has issued to Jaycee Horn to get back to form, be out there, be healthy, show the world what you can be. You are a top 10 corner. Dante Jackson, stop letting everybody hate on you. Panthers fans talk a lot of shit. You need to go out there and just shut them up. Ryan Clark believes in you. I'm a little 50-50 because I think I've seen enough. But hey, man, Dante, if you can shut me up, man. But whatever you all think, leave your comments down below. For this video, I will be releasing another one, a follow-up to my buy, sell, hold video that I released last week. The defense is coming, as promised. You all came and supported that greatly. I appreciate that. So the defense is coming, as I said I would do. But with that being said, man, I am Jamario Rashad. This is the way I see it, and I'm out. Peace.